Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I am going to be going over quests, not just any quests, but all the quests in Gems of War, particularly the order that you should do them in optimally to take advantage of their rewards. Every single kingdom within Gems of War, upon their questline completion, will end up giving you a free epic card which can help you build into teams. Some other things that they can give are hero classes. These are things that you can attach to your hero, essentially becoming specialized in a particular class, and this can give you additional benefits such as perks, unique traits that every single different class has, as well as different stats and a different weapon once you get 250 wins with that class. So today we are going to be going over this visual right here, which pretty much summarizes the tiers of all of the kingdoms and basically the order that you should do them in. Keep in mind that this is not the only order in which you can do them in. This is just one that I particularly see as pretty much the most optimal order that you can currently do them in as far as the sequence if you want to do it for maximum power. Of course, if you just wish to quest, you can just quest however you want. And one other thing to mention about quests, which is both a good and bad thing, is questing in Gems of War gives you the highest amount of EXP than anything else you can currently do. This is good because, well, you gain a lot of EXP, but this is somewhat bad at lower levels, particularly if you are under level 200, especially if you are under level 100, mainly because this levels you quite a bit. Prior to level 100, you probably only want to do a couple main kingdoms, probably the one higher up on the ratings here, but let's just get into them, and we'll start with the number one ones, which are everything in this category you should essentially do, as well as number two, regardless of what level you are, simply because they are such good value. And this is Broken Spire and Adana. So why do we want to do these? Well, Broken Spire unlocks Arena. It's also one of the easiest kingdoms, since it is the one that the quest pretty much just starts you in from the tutorial. But the main reason you want to finish out Broken Spire is for this soul gain right here. You can play the Arena minigame after completion of this kingdom, and this is the best amount of souls that you're going to be able to get early on in the game. All of these soul values are really huge compared to just using a Valkyrie or a White or a Warg or just any other small soul gainer in your team. This is how you're going to accumulate a good majority of your souls prior to level 100, so it is definitely a good idea just to get that done. Plus, you'll most likely naturally do so just from kind of completing out the tutorial, since the tutorial does bring you through a good majority of it. You'll also end up getting a hero class afterwards. Hero classes you can switch to by going into your hero tab and then just switching over to class and then go into whatever one. You can either change into them, or you can go and actually level them up, go change your perk. You can only have one active at a time. As I mentioned, they all have their own unique perks, their own unique traits, as well as their own unique weapon that they can get. The Warlord, as for the most part, does get... there are better reds out there, but since it is the first one you normally get, it tends to be pretty good. Next, of course, was the Adana that you would end up doing. The main reason for this is two. For one, you'll need it for something within Kazil later to be able to get their weapon from within there. But the other reason you do it is for the Mechanist class. The Mechanist class is currently the best brown class. Where on earth are you, Mechanist? There it is. Oh, I'm already on it. That's why I couldn't find it. And the other pretty nice thing about the Mechanist is the Dragonator. It burns, freezes, and silences an enemy, as well as deals some random damage. Quite a bit of things it gets off. And it also is very commonly used for its immunity to freeze, as well as its 50% start to all mechs, which can come in handy, particularly with the Bomb-Bot troop. So, let's get into the next ones now. For the number two, we would want to be considering things such as the Zolkari Kingdom, as well as the Kazil Kingdom. So Zolkari, similar to Broken Spire, gives you a huge amount of bonuses. One other thing to note about doing Broken Spire, Adana, and Zolkari is that doing this combination of three kingdoms will unlock every single basic trait stone in the game for you to be able to accumulate. The Broken Spire gives you browns and blues. Adana gives you... Oops, sorry, wrong one. Adana gives you reds and yellows. and Zolkari gives you green and purple. So between the three of them, you can cover every single trait stone from common to ultra rare just between the three of them. So you'll get a nice variety of trait stones. But the other reason to do Zolkari is for the Tyri that you end up getting from completing the kingdom. You'll get that one free epic, and she is currently the best troop to use for farming up maps. I'll post a video in the top right corner, probably also mention it in the description, of how to gain dozens of maps with her per hour. But essentially what makes her so good at gaining maps is she can destroy gems from the board, which is really good border control. The fact that it destroys means you also accumulate all the mana for it. As early as level 100, level 11, as early as level 11, she will have enough magic to destroy 8 gems, which will be enough to fully fill up her mana, so you can keep spamming it out. And of course, she has a 20% chance every single time she casts to gain you a map, and this can earn you dozens per hour when using it with things like Dryads, Goblin Shaman, Green Seer, Giant Spider. Really anything that can feed her a good amount of mana will help her to accumulate a lot of maps for you, which you can then use to play the treasure hunt minigame. One pretty good thing about the treasure hunt minigame, other than the fact that it gives a wide variety of rewards, is it does not give you any EXP whatsoever. So if you ever feel like you're falling behind in the game, you'll just be able to do that and accumulate all your maps. Now, over to... oh, you also get the Orb Weaver class from it. Orb Weaver is a kind of average class. It's mainly used just to get the weapon from the class. If we go over to Orb Weaver, the main thing it's used for is just getting 250 wins, and then using the Spider Totem, deals 12 damage to an enemy, drain their mana and web them, and if they are already webbed, you will gain an extra turn. So pretty nice on that, since it can also gain an extra turn. And the other kingdom is Kazale. Kazale is quite unique in that it is the only kingdom that directly gives you a weapon. It also has an actual extra quest line at the end of it, instead of just like a go and get a new hero class. And this ends up unlocking the War and Peace weapon. War and Peace is a relatively average weapon, but compared to what you have earlier on in the game, it is definitely quite potent. And if we just go all the way down here, War and Peace should be right around the corner. It deals damage to all enemies and then gives all allies 2 attack. It also has a 16 mana cost, a little bit high, but it synergizes with quite a few different brown and green spawning troops that will be able to feed all of its mana. And it is definitely a nice weapon to consider, since it's the earliest weapon you can possibly get that is capable of hitting all enemies, and any weapon that can hit all enemies is definitely really potent to obtain. So next up on our list of kingdoms to get first is the Kitar and Karkaroth combo. This combo is extremely devastating. The Kitar, you end up getting the Necromancer class for. This Necromancer is currently pretty horrible as a class, but it gives the best weapon currently within the game, or arguably the best weapon. It is Creeping Death. It places Death Mark on the strongest and weakest enemy. That means the one with the highest and lowest durability. That means if you add up their armor and life, whichever one has the lowest and whichever one has the highest armor and life, it'll place a Death Mark on. And then it deals damage to all enemies. Do keep in mind that if you do end up killing whichever one is weakest on the enemy team, it will not place the other death mark, it'll only place one. But if you can get the damage to hit all enemies, as well as the 2 death marks down, that is pretty potent. Death mark, of course, has a 10% chance every single turn to just straight out kill the enemy, and just instantly dragging a kill or even a double kill out of nowheres is extremely powerful. That's kind of a given. So that is one reason why that is so strong. And the Sorcerer class, the reason why this is so strong is it has a really good first trait, as well as a very good last trait, which makes it good earlier on in the game when you have barely any trait stones, as well as scaling into late game by having a extremely strong final trait. The Magic Link works exceptionally well with Creeping Death, because Creeping Death has a 14 mana cost. This 1 extra mana on a Surge will bring you to 7 mana. So if you happen to get a Purple Surge 2 times in a row, which is slightly increased by the fact that it also gives extra gem Purple Mastery, which increases your mana surge chance, that combination of facts makes it pretty easy to get up Creeping Death. And what makes it even more potent, of course, if you happen to ever get the trait stones to be able to fully trade it, 50% chance every single turn to be able to gain additional magic, and of course every single additional magic on Creeping Death, or as well as any weapon that hits all enemies, will be essentially 4 additional damage as long as they still have their entire team alive. So that's essentially gaining 2 damage every single turn on average with the Dark Channel, so pretty potent. So let's go into our next ones now. We have Forest of Thorns and the Silverglade, which consoles just got recently. Both of these are extremely well for doing Explore. Explore is not something you need immediately when you get into the game, but it is definitely a utility that you'll be needing to be able to farm trait stones as you progress and need to start trading up things like legends and epics and mythics within the game. But as far as this kingdom, it does end up unlocking you the Rowain troop. This is an extremely potent troop that scales based off of armor at a 2x boost ratio right over here. Deals split damage to all enemies, and then 2x boost ratio based on its armor. Can do excessively high amount of damages, and as long as it doesn't take any damage, if you can shield it up or just win before anything can really happen to your Rowain, you can end up winning matches in excessively high speed, which is why she's normally used within the context of Explore. Forest of Thorns completion of this kingdom will also unlock the hero class, or sorry, not the hero class, the hero class of Archer. Archer is the most well-rounded class currently within Gems of War. It has both of the offensives, so that makes it really nice at being able to do damage. You can either use it as a frontline attacker, or you can place it further back to use it more as a caster, so it's really versatile in that regard. Its traits also makes it very versatile, since fast will allow it to be a caster, since it gains 50% extra mana. This also makes it work with literally any weapon, because you will always be able to get 50% extra mana, even if it's not of your mana type, which is green for this particular class. And if you want to use it more skull-oriented, it has a 15% chance to just instantly straight up kill an enemy whenever you take a skull, so that of course is pretty potent as well. As far as the Silverglade, this is mainly to get Princess Espeth. If we just go over to the Silverglade right down here, the main thing that makes her powerful is only when she can get fully upgraded on Empowered, which does cost a little bit of trait stones, but she can win. Currently, she has the quickest possible consistent win within Explore. She's used, actually, in this particular team right here, I actually have it up. Princess Espeth, Bombot, Black Manacles, Golem, using the Mechanist class that we were mentioning earlier. Golem will eventually be placed out with the Brown Guardian from the Guild Wars, but currently you can just use any brown troop there. You essentially just cast Princess Espeth on your Golem. That feeds your Bombot Black Manacles mana. You then just cast Bombot and or your Black Manacles, and that'll pretty much be enough to win your Explore battle, and then you just keep doing that over and over again and gain insane amounts of trait stones in no time at all. And that's how I particularly farm all of my trait stones. Works out very nice. So it is definitely something that you can try out if you want to end up doing that kingdom as well. So next on our list of kingdoms, we have a Blighted Lands and Leonis Empire. Main 2 reasons for this is because of the epics that they dropped. Blighted Lands is for Herald of Chaos, a really decent troop. Earlier on in the game, it can scale slightly if you want to actually invest in its trait stones. The main thing that makes it pretty strong early on in the game, it has a 2x boost ratio that raises 2 different things. He destroys a rogue, deals damage to the first enemy, boosted on blue gems destroyed, as well as reduce a random stat on the first enemy, also boosted by blue gems destroyed. So 2 things, his damage and the stat reduction. As far as him scaling into the late game, the main thing that allows him to do this is the fact that he has Death Touch, which can, of course, 10% every single turn their death mark, 10% chance to just straight out kill them. And if you can't trade it that far, at least you have the Leadership trait, which will give him a decent amount of extra damage, and he'll work kind of like a Knight Coronet in a way, just a brown-purple version of him, essentially. And as far as the other one, the Leonis Empire, this is mainly to unlock the epic troop of Amira. Oh, there she is already. And this is the highest true damaging troop that you can get from a kingdom, as well as the highest amount of true damage you can possibly do to a blue troop. She deals true damage to any troop, steals 2 magic from them, and then deals double if they are blue. This can, in many cases, one-shot blue troops, and it will definitely two-shot them. So she's pretty powerful if you are ever needing to counter out blue troops. She is definitely highly advised to do so with. So next up on our list, we have Mist of Scales and White Helm. You may have heard me just mention earlier that there is a better red out there than the one that you get first starting out from the Warlord class, and that is from Mist of Scales. Mist of Scales unlocks the Assassin class, also known as the best skull-oriented class that's currently available. If we go over to this, the main thing that makes this viable is if you can happen to fully trait this class, which is why it's lower down on the list, is this actually costs a lot of trait stone to be able to get up. But if you can ever get this up and you feel like investing in it, has a 10% chance to assassinate the last enemy when it deals skull damage. So that can be extremely potent because you can do skull spam, which will kill out the first enemy, and then you have a chance of killing the last enemy. And there's even a glitch slash mechanic slash overpoweredness that it could occasionally, if you do skull spam, you'll not only kill out the first troop, you'll not only kill out the last troop, but sometimes it will trigger twice and you'll kill out the last 2 troops. So in a single turn, you essentially just killed out 3 troops. The only annoying part about this is 10% seems a lot smaller than it actually is. It feels like some matches it never triggers, some other matches it feels like it always triggers. Overall, it's a little bit inconsistent, but it is definitely pretty fun to mess around with. And let's see. Did I forget to do the other one? Yes, I did. The other one is White Helm right over there. White Helm is just for the Priest class. The Priest class is, well, why I forgot about it is basically no one really uses it that much anymore. It's mainly used to counter out true damage, and currently there isn't anything too ridiculous off of true damage, though Tesla, which is added into the game, but it doesn't heal enough to really make it worth using it against. But the main thing that Priest is used against is, well, for one, it's used on all Divine teams. It's pretty good for that. The main other thing that's used for is the fact that it heals all allies by 2 per turn. This is essentially 8 heal to your entire team if you're doing damage to all your troops, which quite a few different true damage troops out there will be able to do. And this isn't too much per turn, and do keep in mind if you're already at max HP, this is only healing, so it'll only bring you towards your max HP. It's not actually going to give you 2 additional life every single turn. It doesn't do that. If it did do that, then it would probably be actually pretty good, but or if it had a higher heal. But in the current state of the game, it isn't really used too much, but it does have its purposes in countering out true damage if it ever becomes too ridiculous. So now on the previous tab that I was going to do, number 7, those 3 you may notice, currently they are not within the game as actual classes. Not a single one of those 3 right there, Golvania, Stormheim, or Divinian Fields, all 3 of them currently do not have a hero class on them, but all 3 of these will be gaining a hero class on Monday on the PC mobile version of the game. They keep changing what they actually do, like it feels like every few days for the past week or 2. So I currently don't know exactly what their end result is going to be, so I can't really judge on if they're going to be worth it, but they're definitely going to be worth it more than the ones that are under the 8th tab, and they're definitely going to be worth it more than all the kingdoms that do not actually have a hero class that'll be associated with them. So for the final 2, these are actually the worst 2 hero classes in the game, but they are 2 kingdoms that do give a hero class, so for this fact alone, they are somewhat okay and not 100% useless. And this is Sword's Edge and Magrim Woods. Sword's Edge is currently the only blue hero, so you're kind of stuck. If you want to go hero, you have to go, or if you want to go with a blue weapon oriented for the extra bonus damage, you're kind of stuck at this current moment in time having to do the Knight class. It is arguably the absolute worst class, with the only one trying to take that place being the other one from Magrim Woods, which is the Warden. Warden does have one particular use, which makes it not completely useless, and also why it's kind of on this list. It is the only class as of currently, and probably ever, that can be set as a beast. This is normally used with a fully traded Nature Guardian to get your weapon up to 50% mana as soon as you start off the battle. So it's not completely useless, but other than that, that's like the only instance you will ever use this class in, and both of them have a relatively horrible weapon, and the Knight's weapon actually glitches from time to time. I don't even know if they fixed that yet. But anyways, that is the full kingdom progression. I did exclude several kingdoms from this list. I forget exactly what all of those were that I did end up excluding. The main reason for this, they're not like absolutely useless kingdoms, but the only reward you get from them is their epic troop, and many of them that I omitted from this list have extremely bad epic troops attached to them. So just one last time for reference, here is the full list of the tiers for the progression for doing all of the quests within the game. I hope this was helpful for you in being able to determine where you're going to be kind of going as you do quests. Do keep in mind that there is going to be a new quest or a new kingdom coming out probably a couple hours after this video gets uploaded. So do keep your eye out for that. Hope you guys get a lot of wonderful drops from it. I will be streaming it on Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and even on Easter from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be a kind of like our Easter holiday celebration thing this weekend, and we'll be able to do the new kingdom as we do so. So we will be showing all of the new troops with it. We'll be doing the new legend and everything like that. So feel free to come down. We'll be doing it just right here on this channel streaming. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Best of luck with your chest openings for the new kingdom tomorrow, anyone on PC and mobile. And I hope you all join us on the stream. If not, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.